Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Vobie One-Eye Kenobi Showbie with me, Richard Vobes, here in jolly old Worthing. And, ladies and gentlemen, if I press the magic button, if I can find the magic thing, over there in South Lancing, West-South Lancing, the lovely Julia is on the line. Hello, lovely Julia. Have you muted yourself?
Yes, I did, for safety.
All right, there we go.
Good evening, lovely.
Now, we've got a new machine. We've got a new version of Skype, and we have the lovely Julia on the line. I'm hoping that you can heater. I hope you can hear her, and there is no echo with her. So that would be good. Just been deafened, says Judith. What have you been deafened by? Have you been deaf? Am I too loud? Is that what's going on?
Or am I too loud?
Or is the lovely Julia too loud? I'm just trying to get the new system. We've not used the Skype before, so on this new system. So maybe you can tell us what you think. Oh, was the music too loud? Was it the theme tune that was too loud? It could have been the theme, actually, that was too loud. Sorry about that. We're seeing this after the delay, so who knows. Anyway, welcome. It's Friday. It's the 12th of June, and thank you very much for calling in. How are you, lovely Julia?
I'm not too shabby, thank you. I've managed to re-dye the ends of my hair, so I'm very happy with that.
Oh, good. Yes, your hair looks absolutely lovely. How did you manage to get it purple when you've not been able to go to the hairdressers?
Well, see, this top bit's not purple because I'd need my roots bleached, but this bit was all pre-bleached and all the colour had drained out, so all I had to do was apply the new dye.
And is that an easy thing to do?
It's simple enough when you've got so much root there.
Do you think I could apply it to mine?
I've got something I could try on yours.
Oh, yeah?
It's hair crayons, basically.
Oh, hair crayons.
Or hair chalk or whatever.
Well, I need the hair for the crayons to be working on.
Well, you've got some stubble around the sides there. I could rub it on that.
What are you talking about? Stubble? Stubble? Me? Oh, yeah, it does feel it's a bit like sandpaper at the moment. If anybody needs a piece of wood sanded down, then do let me know. I can just rub my head on it like that. All good fun. Has to be done. Mike Stevens says, voice is okay now. It was booming when you first came online. When you say it was booming, is it the voice that was booming or the music? That would be. You are louder than Ed Loud, says Ron Langley. You need to be a bit more specific, if you wouldn't mind, just to help me out. Is it me, or is it the lovely Julia, or was it the music? Ed says, computer is working great. You're clipping a bit when you're close to the microphone. It seems very sensitive. Funnily enough, my microphone is not any louder. I'm just wondering if it's being amplified somewhere else, and whether you're getting a little extra from me at the moment than you should be. I don't want to give you too much. Thank you for that. Hi, everyone. Graham Roffey says, voice, which one? Is it both of us? There's two people here. They're on different systems, you see. You look like Max Headroom if you had hair crayons. Oh, yeah. I can't even remember what Max Headroom looked like now, can you?
I have no idea.
No, he was a computer-generated character, wasn't he? For a Channel 4 series, if I remember rightly. Graham says that my voice at the beginning was loud. Okay, a lot of channels are loud at the beginning, says... right, okay, thank you very much. It's just trying to sort it all out. If it's all right now, then we have a chance that we are winning.
I'm just having a look at who the heck Max Headroom is.
Oh, right, yeah. Defo, some amplification going on. Doesn't sound natural. A little niggles. It's quite fun, says Ed Loud. Is it... yeah, it could be because hang on, let me just try this, because if I cut this sound down, we might be getting an echo business again, and I can't work out how this works. Okay, so if I do this, I've now blimey, my microphone levels have just gone right up, and I'm not. But if I do that, I'm just fiddling here in this. I don't know why my microphone levels have gone up. Hang on a minute. I've got a new sound card. I wonder if that's what it is. Well, it's got a whole new computer. No, that doesn't seem to be it. A capture card. Anyway, sorry, I'm waffling.
Am I the one that's...
No, they're saying it's... I think they're saying it's me. Max Headroom. Yes, that's right. It's fine now for me, but I'm not technical. People are feeling fussy tonight. Yeah, well, anyway, let's not worry about it. My picture looks very pink. I feel like I'm very pink at the moment.
Yeah, there's some red reflecting off the wall behind you in my Skype.
Yeah, I don't know what in that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll just have to go with what we this is not the BBC studios, so
No.
or even any professional television studios. We will have a few niggling things. It's a bit like someone tuning into dial and the levels go up and down. Huh. No idea why that. Julia is very low now. Oh, maybe I've adjusted yours too lowly. Hang on. Just say a few things, Julia.
Hello, a few things, Julia.
There we go. Hopefully that's better. You only did it just now when you said hello. Oh, maybe it's when I was... well, I'm very close to the microphone. If I get very close... Maybe I just put the microphone further away. There we go. Try that. Anyway, so one of the subjects that we thought... Well, Julia thought, and I think it's a good idea to talk about is how are you doing with your hair? Talking of hair. Julia's just recoloured her hair and it looks very nice. But how are you doing? Because as yet, nobody can go to a hairdresser. Or have you managed to cut your own hair? That's what we'd like to know. What's your experience been, Julia?
Well, like I said, this is 20 months of growth, because I last had my hair bleached just before I found out I was pregnant with Joseph. So and then I ran out of the keep the purple in or add in extra purple boost shampoo that I was using about a week or two into the lockdown. So it's been slowly fading out since then, decaying as I call it.
But a lot of people have been moaning about the length of their hair getting unruly and unable to crop it. Now, of course, I've had that issue. I usually get that issue about every 2 days. But the thing with me is I get a Bic razor. And if I don't have any Bic razors handy, I use a bread knife. Bread knife's pretty successful. Otherwise, of course, there is other sort of things, hatchets and various things that you can, snip it all back. But not everybody wants to be bald. So have you had growth problems, Julia?
No, my hair's at the length where it kind of, deals with itself. I haven't had it trimmed for ages.
I'm just going to interrupt because we have a phone call. Hello.
Hello, it's Ed Loud.
Hello, Ed. You're very presumptuous this evening, if I may say so.
Well, I couldn't resist. We're talking about hair. So,
yes. Well, I know you have had a minor cut. Now, Julia, can you hear Ed?
I can. Can Ed hear me?
Thank God for that. So now I can barely hear Julia. But anyway, this is all a bit ramshackled on the first show with the new machine. But never mind. So tell me about your haircut. For those that don't know, Ed.
Well, just, I had hair and now I don't. So I've done exactly what you do. I got a razor, shaved it all off. I didn't use a Bic razor, though.
What did you use?
I used the open razor that I use on my face, the old cutthroat razor.
On your head?
Yeah.
And for everything?
Just for my head.
Well, what I mean is everything on your head. That's, because when you get round the back and all of that, was that easy?
Yeah, it was. I won't say it was easy, but I've been using that razor for so many years. I'm actually safer with that than if I use. I used the Mac 4 when I forgot my razor one day. Someone lent me a Mac 4 head,
What is a Mac 4?
one of those Gillette ones.
Oh,
I
okay.
actually cut myself with that
Yeah.
because I think because the old-fashioned razor is so sort of dangerous looking, it makes you more careful.
Yes, and presumably, do you do all that business where they whisk it up on something, whatever it is they do, to keep it sharp?
Proper barber.
I use a water stone. I have got a strop, but
You've had a
it works
strop?
that well. The strop is the big leather strap. I have got one, but I really don't use it. The water stone does a lovely job. So I use that, keep it really sharp. When it's blunt, that's when you're going to cut yourself. And I would say the same for kitchen knives as well. Every time I've seen an accident with a kitchen knife, it's been when the knife is blunt and it's deflected off the object.
Ah.
So the sharper the razor, the better. And I actually started using that because I have, I get a lot of razor burn. So I started using that years ago, and it's always done me well.
So what do you do? Put the blade of the razor on a hot stove or something, and then stick it on your face. Is that how you get the burn?
Yeah, just friction and things like that. But yeah, just that's what I did. What
do you use? Do you use a shampoo, or do you use oil, or foam? Is it foam that people?
Well, I used to use shaving soap. Didn't get on very well. I tried foam. Didn't get on very well. I tried everything, and the thing that worked the best was hair conditioner.
Hair conditioner.
Hair conditioner. Honest to God, I use Head and Shoulders hair conditioner.
Gosh, Julia, what do you think? Do you reckon using a bit of hair conditioner on yours with a big razor?
What, on my head? Well, I don't know. I'm not so sure I'm ready for that just now. But it's funny you say about using a blunt razor, because I use just the cheap Bics and stuff now. I used to use the Gillette Lady, even though they cost more for whatever reason. But I find that the newer they are, the more likely I am to cut myself, particularly on my legs. But with a blunt one that's been used for a month or so, I'm much better. I get a better shave out of it. Is that
month?
Weird? Yes.
My goodness. I mean, I managed to get one single Bic razor, the cheap and cheerful Bic razors will do my beard, my, facial beard, and and my head. And I get two goes out of that, which is if I shave myself every other day, which is pretty much what I would do, that gives me, it's 2 a week then, pretty much.
My head hair seems to blunt the razor very, very quickly. So I don't think I'd get that many shaves if I was having to go out and buy razors. But yeah, I just did it for ease while there was no barbers. I didn't sort of do it to emulate your good self when I make your videos or anything. That was all just a bit of a joke after the fact that I'd done it. But yeah, I just thought, you know what? I've always said for years and years, I'll shave my head off again one day. Shave my hair off again one day.
Yeah, don't shave your head off.
Shave the head off, yeah. But yeah, that's what I did. Shaved it all off, took the plunge, and I will be growing it back shortly. I just need to...
You're going to just grow it back short?
Yeah, I just need to catch up where I am on the videos I'm making, because otherwise I'm going to have a continuity problem.
Yes.
Because there's videos where I've got hair and videos where I haven't got hair.
Do you miss the hair then, do you?
No, not at all. Not at all. Don't miss it one little bit. I used to have really long hair as well, so I've tried everything now, and I think long hair is too much maintenance for me. I've got very sort of stiff, frizzy hair. And I quite like having short hair. I feel extra cool as well. My whole body's cooled down since I've shaved all my hair off.
Well, the thing is, you see, the way I look at it is if people had shaved all their hair off right at the beginning of the lockdown, by the time they're allowed to come out, no one would know.
Yes, yeah.
And they wouldn't have the long hair that they're moaning about at the moment.
And yeah, and that's why I shaved it all off as well, because I thought if I try and be clever and trim it myself and keep it short, I might sort of make mistakes and miss bits. If it's all gone, it's all gone, and it's all level, and it'll grow back level.
Exactly. That's my feeling. I mean, obviously, women don't want to do it, but I would have thought, a lot of men could quite easily crop it really low and
Yeah.
then in a month's time or 6 weeks' time, it's back to a level that's perfectly normal, and probably no one would have guessed. They haven't seen anybody, only on the Zoom calls that we've all been doing, apparently. Not that I've done many of those myself, have too much of this. But yeah.
Judith says she's
Yeah,
cut her own
I
hair
recommend
twice.
it to anyone who feels like they overheat easy, or anyone that wants a look. If you're a man,
Yes.
don't rely on your hair, because you might hit an age where you might not have so much hair anymore, and then people won't know your look anymore. So,
True.
don't rely on your hair. If you're a guy, that's one of those things we just can't do, because I know I'll probably start going bald soon. So
Well, you're
I
bald
thought
already.
I might as well.
You're already.
Yeah,
hang
I
on,
thought I might as
hang
well
on, Ed.
do it
Hang on.
self-induced.
Hold your tongue for a second. Juliet wanted to say something.
Yeah, Judith says she's cut her own hair twice. I think Dawn Copping says her hair's curly, so she's never been pleased with how hairdressers cut it, so she cuts her own hair. Linda Kane is desperate for a hairdresser. 15 weeks and no haircut.
15 weeks. I imagine that's a long time for women, isn't it?
Yeah, it's short-haired ladies. It's much more noticeable. Don't think. Well,
If
no
you,
one would notice.
I know I've asked you this question privately, but let me ask this question more publicly to Julia. If you let your hair just grow, will it go down, and grow and grow and grow, and you don't do anything? Will it go down to your knees?
Well, I'd love it to go down. I'd love to be able to sit on it, because all my female cousins, when I was a child, they always used to have really long hair that they could sit on, and I was so jealous. But my mum kept mine, as recommended by one of her hairdresser friends, to keep mine short so that it would thicken out. It never worked. But but if you have it trimmed regularly, it's supposed to help it stay healthier, and it'll.
Right, but if you just left it, if you didn't touch it, would it go down to would it touch the floor?
No, you'd have to keep trimming it just a little bit, just to keep the hair healthy. Otherwise, the ends get split and everything, and it starts to maintain itself at a certain length, which just breaks off.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to buzz off in a second, but before I go,
yes.
Just to let you know, I actually can't hear Julia properly. I'm just getting a little bit of feedback from your microphone. But I definitely haven't got a connection with Julia.
You haven't got a feed.
So,
Hang on.
Yeah,
then.
do forgive me for not saying hello, Julia.
No, in that case,
that's fine.
Let me think. Where are you coming from? What about if you can say a few words, Julia? I just want to see if I can punch. I can't remember what I've done here now.
Saying a few words and a few
Just
more.
The minute you hear her, let me know.
And
yeah,
hello, Ed. Can you hear me yet?
I'm getting very, very, very quiet.
Yeah, because you're just getting off. Because I've got it coming.
But now I'm getting myself.
You're getting what? Sorry.
I'm getting myself talking back to me.
Oh, right.
Hello, Ed. Oh, hi, Ed.
Has Ed gone?
Yeah, it's gone now. I was enjoying that. I like the sound of my own voice. Anyway, I'll buzz off.
No,
and get
but
on
no,
with the show.
wait.
Okay,
Whilst
right.
you're there, because I want to make sure the next caller can hear her. So it's
Yes,
interesting.
good idea.
Let me just think. You're coming
Sean
in there.
says audio both is Linda
is...
Kane says no problem here. Glastonbury Gabriel says there's nothing wrong here.
No. I'm trying to feed.
This is just a problem when you're calling Gabriel and everyone else out there in 3D land.
They can all hear her, which is great.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to feed it from the desk. It's coming in the desk, and I want to send it down the phone so that you get to hear her, because I'm hearing it in the studio through the speakers very, very quietly, so there's not an echo.
Yeah, and that's basically what I'm getting. I'm getting her
hearing,
very, very quietly.
Exactly. But if I turn her up, then they'll hear an echo. So what do
By the way, hello Elijah, love you.
What do I need to do? There's an in and an out, and I don't understand why the out isn't coming into you, because I've not changed the desk setup. Wait a minute. There's no other. Wait a minute. Just say a few words, Julia.
Just FYI, I have a bee in here. No, I saved a bee from in here the other day.
Working.
I caught it between two of my hats.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll have to think on it.
It sounds to me like we're getting the feed from. It's hard to explain. How can I explain it? It sounds like we're getting the feed from your computer as it is on your computer, because I recognise the sound of some of those effects. They're like the sound effects I can add in on my own sound card, and it won't go through the line out or the line in, but it will come up through my home speakers. Very sort of echoey sound effects.
Okay. Well, you are. I mean, it's the show is going. It's I know this is complicated for people and probably very boring, but just very quickly, because it's on OBS, the show is on so everything's fed into OBS. OBS is what goes out to you. So the sound is on, so you're getting the feed from the computer, of course. But on the phone, coming back to you, you will be hearing me via the desk because you're plugged into the desk. But Julia's sound is not coming back into the desk so that I can feed it to you. Or if it is, I don't know, it may be coming back to the desk.
Or even like when I was watching it in the other room on my brother's laptop.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just heard it just now. The sound's just gone up immensely, as if it's being amplified through some sort of home studio setup. So, like on my computer, I got Realtek audio, and I can add all kinds of fancy effects, and it will make things echoey and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I was twiddling knobs at that point, trying to feed it to you, which is probably why that's happened. But I've turned them all back now, so in theory, you shouldn't hear them.
Yeah, anyway, I mean, the show's great, as always. I don't think it's anything anyone would notice.
No, I'm just using you as a guinea pig because you happen to be on the line. But anyway,
I'm just trying to be helpful.
No, and you have been. Brilliant. Thank you, Ed.
Not complaining. Yeah, all right, have a good show, and I'll enjoy it. Take care.
Take care, bye-bye. Well, at the moment, unfortunately, the caller can't hear Julia, and I don't know quite how to patch it through, so I've got to work on that because we haven't changed. Shall we? We will come to the comments and see what you're saying about hair and how you've survived in a moment. We're going to play our first video of the night, if that's all right with everybody. Is that all right with you, lovely Julia?
All right with me.
Fantastic. So let's go into the video box. To do that, I have to say cheerio momentarily. I said permanently then. Momentarily to the lovely Julia. And I have to press a button. And we will catch up with Barry and Faden, I think, to kick off with in tonight's show, because they're going to show us part 2 of their trip. Julia will find this fascinating because this is at Wayland Smithy. Now, I'm hoping that this will go out. You might just need to mute yourself, lovely Julia, if you don't mind. So this is Barry and Faden in Oxfordshire at the Wayland Smithy.
Arrived at Wayland Smithy Longbarrow.
This long barrow is 5,500 years old, and surprisingly it was only used for 15 years and then maybe later for another year. It's 2 burrows on top of each other. They're estimated to have between 11 and 15 people buried here. The myth associated with this place is that it was the home of Wayland the Saxon, the god of metalworking, which was basically a Neolithic god. Another legend is that if you were to leave a coin with your horse overnight, when you come back, your horse would be reshoed by the god of the blacksmiths that the Neolithic people worshipped here. Here we'll show you the woods just behind the long barrow of Wayland's smithy. It's obviously used for bushcrafting and den making and things like that. The woods are supposed to be haunted by what I don't know.
There's also a very, that den looks like it must have taken ages to build that one.
Yeah, it's quite a big one. There's going to be lots of myths and legends around a place like this. It's got so much history of magic.
I'd like to thank you so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Well, there we go. How about that? That's Wayland's Smithy. Now, let's find out from Julia, because I know that she is very, very keen to have a look at that. And there she is on Skype. Hello, Julia. Now, oh, wait a minute. I may have patched you through.
I forgot to unmute.
Oh, hang on a minute. Now I can't hear you. I wonder if anybody else can hear you.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, I wonder, they might be able to hear you. Now, why can't I? I went under the desk whilst that was on. I went under the desk to plug in. So you ought to be coming through somewhere. Where are you coming through? You ought to be coming in through there. You say a few words?
Saying a few words. I'm just typing. Thanks, Barry and Faden. That was a lovely video. Can you hear me yet?
I think they can hear you. Can you just give us a few moments? I'm going to go and crawl under the desk again. I think. Can somebody just let us know? Oh, we can hear Julia. That's brilliant. Okay, I'm going to go under the desk one more time.
Come on then. I'll drink till you going under the desk.
No, you keep talking.
I'm going to keep talking as well.
Yeah, you know, you got it. I'm not here, so you've
Get
got
under the
to.
desk. Go away. Go under the desk.
I'm
Have a
going.
look. Linda and Judith. Linda and Josephine Suter earlier asked if I was drinking Pimm's, and yes, it is Pimm's. I decided lockdown is getting to me now. I needed a quick little tipple, but I don't.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I've cut you off. There is something very strange going on, because yeah, every now and again I can see I'm clipping. Okay, I can't get you in. They can hear you now, Julia. Can they hear you? Julia's gone. Oh God, this is. Why is that? You should be able to hear Julia. You haven't muted yourself, Julia, have you? No. Well, that's very strange. Are you still there?
Yep, I'm still here. Can you hear me? Orange.
Sorry, Hey, Julia went off when you went under the desk and pulled it. Yes, I realised that. Thank you. That's very helpful. I'm aware that she went off when I pulled something. This is what they call don't fiddle with the show when it's working.
Apple in my mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me just let's put another video on and let me have a think. So and we'll try and get. Can you hear me, Julia?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Oh, okay. I wonder if it. Wait a minute. It might be Skype. Wait, it might be the settings in Skype now, because when I pulled you out... Hang on, let me just do this, because I have to do this whilst we're live, because it'll interfere. Audio, right.
Oh, fun, fun, fun.
Test the... Hello? Oh, there we go. We got you back. Yeah, that was the Skype. So when I pulled... So when I... Oh, God. Now somebody's ringing me up to tell me where I've gone wrong. Hello, caller.
You're both sounding fine now, Richard.
Yes, I realised that. Thank you very much, Sean. I've worked that out for myself. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to play another video. Sorry to cut you off. It's just a little bit stressful trying to get it all sorted.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Okay, bye. So I realised that. Thank you, Sean. But I just worked that out. It was actually Skype, and it was because when I did an unplug thing, it reset Skype so that Skype was not sending the signal where it had been, or it had chosen a different sound source which is not going into the computer. Anyway, you don't want to hear that. That's boring. But now all I've got is a little bit of Julia on the side, which I need to. Well, how do I get you?
Just to remind people, it's a new computer that Richard's using. So, yeah, and this is the first time we've done the Skype thing with the new computer.
Are people upset?
Think so? Oh, we've got no Julia now, apparently.
No, Julia.
Says Glastonbury Gabriel. No sound from me. Silent again from me.
I don't understand what's going on. We've got no Julia. Silent again. Pardon. Barely hear her. Lost her. Okay, just. Let me just check this.
It says no, not upset. Well, I'm assuming he means not upset. We love it.
You love it.
That's what my brain says.
Can you hear that? No, you can't hear that. Unmute incoming calls. Ring on a... Well, you were there. The thing is, you were there. And I didn't touch anything. Oh, this is so embarrassingly awkward. It's weird, isn't it? You can spend ages, you get it all sorted out, then on the day, something goes wrong. Right, so you can hear me, Julia. I can hear you. We can half see you. Please don't ring in at the moment and add to the frustration, because you won't be helping. Right, I've got you. Let me just see if this still says it's you. That says it's me. That says it's... I don't want to swear on air. Who's saying that? Yeah. Ignore. No disrespect to people out there, but they can't see what's going. They have no idea of how it works here. So you moving to the left doesn't make any difference. I can move. You see, what they don't seem to appreciate, and I don't mean this in a nasty way, is I can move you. I'm moving you now all round the screen. So I'm just trying to get you in the best position, but I have to do it in a certain way. I don't really want those things over you. And I can't seem to turn. I can't. Yeah. Okay, I've got that bit. I can't turn. Oh, yeah, there we go. Right, but they can't hear you. For God's sake, this is... I'm going to go and play a video whilst I get my brain on. Right, I've got to remember how we do this. So you might... Oh, you no need to mute yourself because they can't hear you. Right. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting myself in a bit of a tizzy. This is, this is where everything just looks a right mess. Let's go into the what's the name thing. And we're going to catch up with Gabriel in Glastonbury. I hope.
We are now in Lambrook Street, and this is the Methodist Church built in 1861. This Victorian fountain has a small reservoir behind it. They had to build this because the town's water supply at that time was 400 years old, so a little bit knackered. These Victorian terrace houses are built of Glastonbury brick. They were built in a field that was the site originally of the Abbey Bell Foundry. We've arrived at Launder Close. Over there, that Georgian house is built on the site of the Abbey Laundry. It is also built over a stream and has suffered subsidence as a result. This is the old vicarage. They built it for 900 quid with money from the Queen Anne dowry. This is because the Abbey had nicked the vicar's endowment, leaving them poorer than the proverbial church mouse. The 18th century cottage there is Kylemore, and next to it is the first purpose-built chapel in town. Silver Street here was originally inside the Abbey precinct, the original northern wall being further to the right. However, this wall here along the eastern edge is original. It is thought the lowest stones date from the rebuilding after the fire of 1184. This archway was made in 1825 to give access to Abbey House. Designed by the well-known illustrator John Buckler, it was built for Fry Reeves, a rich banker in town. This building was a solicitor's from 1840 until sometime last year. It has also housed the offices of the Drainage Authority and at one time Glastonbury Canal. And here's a bonus. A quick view over the Abbey wall, courtesy of a long camera pole. You don't get freebies in there very often. And here we are at the entrance to Beer Lane. At one point, the entrance into town guarded by toll houses.
Well, that was the lovely Gabriel in Glastonbury. And there we go. Nice to see a professional outfit doing something absolutely marvellous instead of this ramshackle here trying to bang and crash things together. Now, I may well have fixed the issue. I don't know. Let's ask the lovely Julia if she is there. Let's cut to her now. Hello, lovely Julia.
Hello, lovely Richard.
Oh, yes, there you are. You're back.
Yay!
Oh, there's so many different ways of doing that to patch it through, and one just had to have a moment where the brain was going, if this is doing this and that is doing that, that should be there. Why is it not there? And we're there. Anyway, let's not argue. I'm not fiddling.
Do you mind if we just go back briefly and talk about Wayland Smithy a moment?
Yes, of course.
Excellent, because that was a wonderful video. I loved that one. I'm desperate to get there. I mean, there's loads more to the epic mythology to that. Like, wasn't Wayland? I'm sure he was the one that actually married a swan lady. I can't remember the actual term for it, but she and two of her sisters were is it witches, or they were magical beings basically, and they'd put on this swan coat type thing, and they would turn into swans, and he and his brothers, Wayland and his brothers, saw these three ladies they'd left their swan skins at the shore, and they'd gone swimming in this lake, and they basically seduced them and got them to marry them, but then eventually, they had a happy marriage and things, and then eventually she just needed to go and be, and travel again. So and then he spent the rest of his life waiting for her to come back. But yeah, there's so much more to it. But that's just a snippet. It's so interesting. Thanks for putting that one on.
So these are legends then that are born out of the fact that there is a, what is it? Is it a Bronze Age burial mound or Neolithic? Probably Bronze Age, isn't it? Long Barrow.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly.
But Wayland Smithy, the smithy bit, is that because it was a blacksmith? Because that was one of the ones that Barry was saying, that if you left a penny or something.
That's right, but you must not look. You must walk away and not try to look back, because otherwise it won't happen. It won't work. That's the legend anyway. Yeah. Yes, he was a smithy.
And is that because people, when these legends came about, do you suppose, is that because people weren't really au fait with Bronze Age, that Neolithic peoples? They just thought these were ancient peoples, and therefore it looked like a blacksmith rather than a long barrow.
Well, it's all word of mouth. It's probably loosely based on things that may have happened and occurred, but of course the tales get twisted and get more elaborate as time goes on and pass from generation to generation, and that's how history and folklore and storytelling was all done with storytelling. What's her lovely name? Kim Murden, herbalist of Lewis. I've said it wrong again, haven't I? Lewis Herbalist, who has a YouTube channel. She's very much about the continuation of this tradition of storytelling.
Yes.
So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely. These stories are fascinating. It's just I suppose I was thinking, we in the 21st century know that these were ancient peoples from Bronze Age or whatever, and sometimes we know it had nothing to do with blacksmiths because it was a burial mound. But I'm just wondering whether people came across it and thought, oh, it looks like a blacksmith's forge because it's got the big stones out the front and may have been open or what have you, and thought, oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, there's no evidence that Wayland had anything to do with this particular long barrow, but he has been associated with it through folklore and things like that. And of course, then these little ghost kind of stories come up, and almost fairy tales, i.e. the whole leave a penny and your horse tied up and go away and come back and it'll have.
So is Wayland himself a different person from it? He's. Because I'm not really au fait with this legend at all. I'm just trying to piece it together. Wayland Smithy is the name of the burial mound, but he's a person as.
It's currently named after a legend, basically.
Oh, I see.
You don't know if it actually had anything to do with him.
Right. Okay. The whole area is riddled with myth, says Barry. It has so much magical history. I've read about the swan-kissed skins before, Julia. Most of these myths come from real events, though Chinese whispers can become a myth. Yeah, I was just trying to sort of pin down the burial mound bit that we know is the true evidence, and then Wayland Smithy, that's his name of somebody who this is named after. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so there's so much more to it though, because I mean there was a king involved who basically, I mean, Wayland was such a good smithy that and he made such ornate jewelry and things that this king wanted his pieces to only be for him. So he essentially had him locked away and trapped, and and Wayland just wanted to get away to go and wait in his little smithy, waiting for his wife to return.
And Wayland is, I mean, Way, W-E-Y, Wayland is, an old term, isn't it, for traveller?
Yeah, I suppose it is.
Because you have way markers, and you have wayfarers, people who travel along a route. So I wonder if this. I mean, I may be trying to see too much into it, but I'm somebody who does see things in black and white, and I find things that are a bit too ethereal or fanciful hard to grasp. But that's me with everything. It's either this or that. There's no in between with me, which clearly there is, but I struggle with that. So so going back to the way thing, I wonder if it's on a route. And if it's because I've not been there before, and only looking at Barry's video, I assume it's on the top of a hill. Is that right, Barry? Is it on the top of a hill, like so many burial mounds are, or is it in a valley? That would be it. Wayfarers. I got a friend who is who's fairer than me, says Ed Loud.
Clever, tish.
So is it? Oh, is it W-A-Y or W-E-Y?
It's a good point.
It's just that, I mean, spelling may not be the thing, but I know that I was just thinking of wayfarers. Anyway, maybe we've exasperated that. There's obviously so much to see, and at some point we will have to go and visit it, Julia.
Yes, definitely. And
explore all of that. Gabriel says, I'm with you, Richard. Either that or a cynical old git. Absolutely. Norse. It's a Norse name, is it? Don't forget the Ridgeway track passes the Barrow, far, far older than the 550,000. Yeah, so it is on a route. Yeah, that was the thing. I didn't realise it was on the. I don't know anything about it, so that's why I was asking. The Ridgeway track is an ancient track, and it's on that route. So it's a bit like a Wayland marker.
Yeah. Barry Stevens says Wayland Smithy isn't on a hill really, but the horse is.
Right. Oh, okay. But it's on the route. Is it? Presumably the track is en route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems to be on it.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm talking from complete ignorance and just trying to put these ethereal bits of a puzzle to make it work for my head and hopefully others. And often when I do that, it muddles everything.
Sean says, a Norse, a kingdom for my Norse.
Exactly. I think what we'll do is we'll move swiftly on and bung in another video, shall we?
Yes. By the way, Gabriel, that was a lovely video as well. I love your videos.
Yes, we do love your videos, Gabriel. Very nice. And looking forward to part 4 of Glastonbury. So much to take in. If only we'd been watching those videos when we last went to Glastonbury, but it means that we'll just have to go again.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's have a look at Sean. Sean James. What's his name? John's Kitchen Garden, as he is now.
Changed his name. Sean James Cameron.
Yes. I was just looking. Suddenly looked over there and went, "Oh wait, no, it's Kitchen Garden." Sean James Cameron, or his kitchen garden. He has sent in a video to do with a rhubarb. Mm-hmm. Let's have a look at this. Thank you very much, Sean, for sending it in. Oh, hang on. I'm pressing the button. Of course, I've got to go over. I'm going to have to just get rid of Julia for a second. This is so complicated. I want an easier way of doing this. I want someone to operate my knobs. Right, in theory, this should work. Over to Sean. No, that's not working. Wait a minute. This will.
Hello, welcome to London. My name is Sean James Cameron and I'm on my allotment and I'm doing the no-dig method this year, which is a method where you put your cardboard on top of the weeds. It suppresses the weeds and slowly kills them. And then on top of the cardboard you either put your compost or your bark chippings. The bark is usually used for a path. So this is how my allotment is looking in June. But the whole point of today's visit is to have a look at some rhubarb. My rhubarb has been very spectacular this year and it started coming into growth very early. If you have rhubarb, take the leaves off because these are actually poisonous. But what I do is you can either throw them onto your compost bin or just put them back underneath the plant and then all that goodness will go back in and create nice stalks for next year. Now next to my potato row, a rhubarb has sprouted up and I don't want it there, so I'm going to lift it and pass it on to Richard because I understand he is on the lookout for some. Now some might say this is the wrong time of year to be lifting, and usually I would agree. But in gardening I find if I want to move something I'll move it, and 9 times out of 10 it survives. So what I'm suggesting is as soon as Richard gets this, put it into a pot and give it a really good soaking with about 2 or 3 cans of water. So I'll pop that in the post and Richard will get it in a few days. Now I wouldn't harvest anything off it this year and maybe not even next year because you need it to establish itself, and you can grow rhubarb in a pot as well. So if that's what you're going to do, Richard, I wish you many years of something sweet to suck on.
There we go. That's a rhubarb. A rhubarb. Thank you, Sean. I look forward to that in the old post. How do you post a rhubarb? How do you? What envelope does that fit in? Do you box it up? What do you do with that to get that in the post? That's bizarre. Let's just check out that lovely Julia is all okay and fit to look at. She's been stuffing her mouth. Are you eating at the same time?
Eating my Pimm's fruit.
Ah, wonderful. Now, the phone lines are open if you wish to give us a call. And I can't put the phone number up at the moment because I haven't... the only way I can do that is... Hang on a minute. Call Vobesy. Copy that. Hang on. Copy that. Go back to Skype. Paste that in. Add. Why is that not paste? Where is it? Call Vobesy. Switch it on. There we go. There it is. So you can now call Vobesy on 0793 4746 if you wish to discuss how to mess up a show, Wayland Smithy and all the different myths that go along with it, or posting plants through the post. How easy is it to post plants through the post? Or animals? Can you post animals like cats, for example? Is that a good thing to do? And what happens if your post gets stuck? We have a phone call now. Hello to you, caller. Julia you won't be able to hear Julia, whoever you are. Hello.
Hello, this is Barbara Charles.
Hello, Barbara Charles.
Oh. Hello, Barbara Charles.
I only have 2 minutes because there's a chain around my ankle and the other end of the chain is attached to the hob on top of the stove.
The hob on top of the stove? What's the hob on top of the stove got in it tonight, Barbara Charles?
Well, of course we have to have homemade food, right?
Okay.
So, we also have to have dietetic food because we're on a diet. Not me, Davison. He thinks he's fat.
Davison?
So, that's my bloke.
And is he fat?
No, I mean, he's got maybe, I don't know, 7 pounds that he's going to worry off, I'm telling you.
He can't be 7
Anyway.
pounds. He's got to be more than that. He'd be dead if he was 7 pounds.
Yes. I'll be dead if he stays on this diet and forces me to make dietetic food, I can tell you that.
Just
Anyway,
feed him
the
less.
reason I'm calling.
Yes, you've only got 2 minutes. You've got 1 minute 30 now.
Oh, I know, the pressure is on. I called to correct you on your pronunciation of a word, which I attempted to do about 2 weeks ago in a posting on one of your videos, but I didn't type it properly, and then you said you didn't understand what I was saying, and I think you were a little miffed.
I get miffed very easily, so don't take offence on that.
I know, you're the sensitive type.
Very sensitive.
It's tumuli, not tumuli.
What is it? Tumuli, as in a tombstone.
Tumuli. Yes, instead of not tumuli, as in tummy.
Okay.
Okay? So that's all I have to tell you today.
Oh, thank you very much. Tumuli.
Today's lesson from Barbara Charles.
Tumuli. Is that the American pronunciation or the English
No,
pronunciation?
dear.
Pardon?
The Oxford English Dictionary pronunciation.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I stand corrected then. I've been saying tumuli ever since I could read the word. So I've been saying it wrong all these years.
Oh, we all do things like that.
I don't know what you'd do without me.
I've no idea.
All right.
Probably be on dietetic
All right.
food.
Please. He's getting 1 leaf of lettuce and a glass of water for dinner.
He's getting one
All right.
piece of lettuce, and you don't need that in a pot, then, do you?
No, I'm making something nice for myself. Are you kidding?
Oh,
You
right.
don't need to me.
What?
Myself. Yeah.
What have you got for yourself?
I have meatloaf, roast potatoes, green beans, and a nice piece of apricot cheesecake.
Oh, lovely. Have you got
What do you
custard with your meatloaf?
No, I have applesauce.
I mean, gravy is what I meant to say, not custard. I was thinking of the sweet that you just said. Do you have gravy with it? Is it?
Yeah, I know what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, actually. It's been here long enough to know that your mind is something to be plumbed. No, I'm making a nice dinner for myself. You can starve, I don't care. All right, I shall call you some other time.
Okay.
I have to go stir the stove.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Bye, lovely
You
people.
take care, Barbara.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So there we are. I've been saying that completely wrong all these years.
Yep, corrected again.
Yeah, but no doubt I'll say it wrong because it does look like tummulies to me. But tomb, I suppose it is tomb because they are tombs.
Yes, it makes some sense.
It makes some sense, although of course, why would you not spell it with the T-O-M-B, tomb? But there we are. You know, people get very upset
People
when
would
people say
mispronounce
the
that
wrong
anyway.
things like Shrewsbury and Shrewsbury, you know, or Leominster instead of Leominster.
Potato.
Yeah, potato.
Tomato.
I wouldn't trust the old Oxford English Dictionary anyway. It doesn't allow for local variation of language or indeed Vobes adaptation. That's very true. So there we are. I'm sure people can call things really how they like. It is interesting that people do take exception to it, but I couldn't answer that, says Nigel. Yeah, so anyway, we pronounce it differently in Birmingham, says Morton Lewis. There we are. I bet you do. Everybody has their own pronunciation. Ed Loud says it's like we say Lido or Lido. That's right. I mean, I've always said it was Lido, but some people say it's Lido.
I also say Lido, but Linda Kane, as I remember from the conversation on the reading live you did the other day, was it yesterday? She says Lido. No, it was the day before. Oh, I can't remember when.
You know, I mean, as Glastonbury Gabriel says, who gives a toss? Exactly.
Ben Reeve says tumultuous tumuli. Sorry, tumuli.
Tumultuous tumuli.
Tumuli. It's so easy to get wrong.
Let's call the whole thing off. Yeah. Tumuli, says Robert Croser. Yeah, well, you know, whatever. I'm going to pronounce it. You know, everyone tells you how you should do things. How you got to do this. You got to do that. It must be like this. It must be like that. Why? Why? We're all individuals. We can have our own way of saying things, for goodness sake. You know what I mean. Absolutely. Anyway, there we are. What about that?
Sprapsolutely.
Sprapsolutely. If anybody else wants to give us a ring, we've got 2 more videos to come in. Shall we do another one?
Yes, I think we should.
We'll do another one, then it gives us a bit more time. Right, here we go. What should we do? Mike or Mr. Norris, Julia?
Mike or Mr. Norris? Well, let's save Mr. Norris for in a bit.
Save Mr. Norris for in a bit. It means that he's got to wait so he sees his own video on the show, which is great. Mike Dixon has been out looking at pelicans. Is it pelicans?
Pelicans?
No, not pelicans. No, are they pelicans? The rare birds that are roosting in.
Oh yes, pelicans.
The pelicans are the ones
Storks. At is it Nep Estate?
On the Nep Estate, not pelicans.
Yeah. Storks.
You can get a lot of. Have you seen the Pelican Crossing? There's one just at the end of the road.
Why does the pelican cross the road?
Exactly, to get to the zebra.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's ask him. Hello, pelican.
Hello.
Why did you cross the road?
Yeah, why did you get across the? Anyway, he's gone to see the storks, at Marlow Zoo, at the Nep Estate, where they're doing some rewilding, and I've got to press the right buttons in the right order, so let's do that. Hang on a minute, I've got to come out of here. So we say goodbye to lovely Julia one more time, and she has alas disappeared, and who knows if this is going to work. Let's see. Mike and the storks. No, that's not working. Why does it revert back? Why does it revert back? The swine, this stupid system. Right. Now I haven't got Mike. Here's Mike.
Hello, Vobesters. It's Mike Dixon and Bella. And this morning we're out at Nep. The Nep Estate near Dialpost, not far from Horsham. And we've come to see the storks that are nesting. This is one pair. And the other day we saw another pair nearer to the Nep Castle. But this pair are absolutely beautiful, and with my Swarovski scope you can really see the two storks and their three babies very, very clearly. They're up on that tree on the right. There's two adults, and three chicks, and they'll be there for about another 3 weeks. This route we parked just down in the village, a dial post, and then followed their route map. It's very beautiful down here. Fairly quiet this morning. It has been extremely busy because it was featured on BBC Spring Watch. That vehicle, they got volunteers. Just been talking to a young student from Cambridge University who's part of the Stork project. He gave me lots and lots of information, which is really excellent. And here we've got a kind of dew pond, which is really excellent because the storks primarily feed fish and frogs, newts, snakes, apparently, to their chicks. It's a very, very beautiful setting up here. Forecast was not very good, but I thought we'd just risk it because it looked like it was going to start off sunny, which it has been. The forecast is early afternoon rain, but it has deterred a lot of people from coming out, which is pretty good. Bella's found lots of sniffs, which is really lovely. So she's enjoyed our morning out. But it's really great. This is the first time in over 400 years that storks have nested here in the UK. And here at Nep they got 2 nests with 6 chicks, 3 on each. So it's a really wonderful project. Anyway, I thought I'd just share it with you. Okay, take care. Bye.
So there we are. It's a shame we didn't see. I was hoping that Mike was going to point the telescope thing and give us some pictures of these pelicans, storks. But let's get Julia on the screen. But we didn't see the storks themselves. And Mike said that they're on the tree for 3 weeks. Presumably they come down off that tree because when I made my video recently, they were flying up on the church tower in Shipley and on the windmill, unless that's the other pair. But yeah, do let us know. But very nice to it's very hard to imagine that storks were ever here, but they must have been here because we've had a number of babies delivered. I mean, I know the lovely Julia was in hospital, and this great, I thought it was an albatross. Something came through the window, and there you were, and they were about to open you up, and out came this stork with a little baby in it.
I tell you what, I wish it was a blinking stork. That's 2 major operations I've had to have just to be able to bring my children into this world.
They shouldn't allow birds with scalpels in the bloody hospital,
it's very dangerous, you know.
Hey?
It's very dangerous, you know.
Very dangerous. I mean, you know, they go all sorts of things. Plus the fact storks, very difficult to get a proper mask on them these days. That's why you've not seen them during the COVID outbreak, because they just can't get them on. Talking of masks, my son came back from the hospital, bless him, with in all innocence said to me, with his girlfriend, he said, as of Monday the 15th, which I think is Monday coming, he said, anywhere you go in public, you've got to wear a mask. I said, no, you haven't. It's only on public transport. He said, no, we've just had a briefing at the hospital and anywhere in public.
Are you sure they didn't just mean medical staff and anyone who is most likely to come into contact with anyone who might have COVID?
Well, he said, you know, even if I was out doing my filming, I said, that's ridiculous. I said, it's not. It's
makes no sense because it's not really in the population so much anymore.
No, well, we would have heard about this weeks ago if they were going to actually try and get everybody to wear a mask outside come what may, and you can't, how are you going to police any of that nonsense? But on buses and transport and stuff from Monday, yeah, you supposedly you've got to wear some form of mask.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I don't go on public transport because I'm a snob, so... No, I've got a car at the moment, so I'm not wearing a sodding mask. You're not going to get me to wear it. I don't believe in it now. I'm afraid this is all too much. Poor old Kevin has got himself worried to the point he's had to have an early night. Bless him. I think people have got too worried about this, and there's far better things to worry about.
Yeah, I mean it's still out there, but it is dissipating.
I'm trying to find some interesting statues of I don't know,
don't go there.
storks, a statue of a stork. There's a park, they've had a Winnie the Pooh little statue there. I think, you know, I want to get masks on the statues. That's my thing. Get the masks on the statues. That would be the thing to do. How's the comments going, lovely Julia?
Yes, it's going very well. I think it was Ed said what comes to mind is a book called The Giraffe, the Pelly and Me. Wasn't that a Roald Dahl? I think it was.
A Giraffe, a Pelican and Me?
The Giraffe, the Pelly and Me.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I used to love that. They were window cleaners.
They were window cleaners?
Yep. The Pelly would be the bucket, the Giraffe would be the ladder, and the Me would be the monkey to do the washing.
Oh, okay.
If I remember rightly.
That sounds a thrilling book. Is it by Agatha Christie?
No, it was I'm sure it was. I said his name just a minute ago.
Roald Dahl.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Roald Dahl.
Well, it might be.
Yeah. Henry's Adventure says you better be quick if you want to make videos on statues. They'll all be gone soon.
Yeah, well, I wanted to put masks on statues. That's the thing. I'll put Mickey Mouse masks on them.
My mum's been making some masks. She showed us in our WhatsApp family chat. She'd put up loads of images of the fabric she had available. Said who wants what. So I've chosen one.
Nigel Sadler says, go to the website that Veg Grower Podcast gets his branded masks made and design your own. Costs a bit, but they're rather fun. I'm making a Thunderbirds one. Do you know, I am not wearing a mask, come what may. I would rather starve than wear a sodding mask. They're disease-ridden things. You know, you're breathing it in all day long, and you've got this thing. If you've got the blooming thing, this bit of cloth in front of you is going to be rancid with the disease. Festering, it will. Festering. I'm not wearing... Did you have enough hot water the other night? Yes, thank you, Sean. Sensible question. I did. And in fact, whilst one of the videos went in, apart from taking a hacksaw to the computer and slicing it up for toast, I also went out and put a log on the fire to make sure I've got enough hot water for when, because they've had another bath this evening at 8 o'clock, which is fine because I made sure the water will be hot enough. Beach Writer says, I use city buses, can't afford a car. I love buses and trains better than anywhere as I can read. Good. Do you have to wear a mask in America? Ben Reeves says, people say it always rains in Manchester. When I lived in Plymouth, it seemed to get more than Manchester. It's interesting.
Sean says Worthing should have a statue of Richard, but in which direction would he point? I reckon you'd point out to sea at the Rampion. You go,
yes, I wouldn't mind one of those fairground rides. You know, at the fairground, you shoot the coconut and you have a little gun.
Coconut shy.
Yeah, one of those where you've got a gun and you've got to shoot the coconuts. Well, I would just have that on the seafront, of course, and I would just roll up the back and give them, you know, what are those things that you have on your shoulder that go rocket launcher?
Yeah.
And they would actually just shoot the Rampion bloody wind farms down. That's what I would... People, you know, they'd say, come on, a pound ago, come on, it's a pound ago. And then they'd put £50,000 worth of explosives in this thing. Of course, it wouldn't last very long because once they've knocked down, you'd have to wait 10 years for them to get another one up. Dark Corner says there's to Alice and Wonderland statues in Hotham Park. Oh, yes, that's true. There are those. Better have them down. Put masks on them. Robert Croser says, my brother lives there, a visit to him.
Linda Kane says he'd point west, as in the statue of Richard would point west, but would mean east.
Oh, yes, that's right. Thanks, Linda.
It'd be going like this.
Yeah, it's that way.
Which way did it go? That way.
Morris Luke says, you breathe in carbon monoxide, which is dangerous. Oh, what, wearing a mask? Yes, of course. Absolutely ridiculous idea. They stop you spreading it. They're not stop you getting it. Yeah. So, I mean...
Yeah, to stop you actually getting it, you'd have to have a proper mask that has vents on it, you know, antibacterial vents.
Well,
I don't know the technical terms.
If I had to wear a mask, the thing that I would wear is one of those Victorian deep-sea diving brass helmets that you stick on you like that.
A diving bell.
You know, yeah, exactly. And the whole suit. That's what... You know, if you want to not get it and your own gas, your own oxygen thing at the end, that's the way to do it. Now, if that would be fine. I could do that. Probably not for very long, to be fair. Certainly not on a bus, banging your head against the bloody railings or the pole or whatever. Dong, dong, as you're rattling across the countryside. 2 buses a minute here on the South Circular, says Ed Loud. I miss my little country village. Veg Grower Podcast says Brazil's. Apropos of something I haven't guessed. Ron Langley says there's no way I'm queuing up to go in a shop, let alone wear a mask too. Quite right, mate. Quite right. I don't understand. You know, I think we've worked out now that this has been a bit of an overreaction. Morris says it's the law to wear a mask indoors in Madrid, but not on the street.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me, you know, indoors to when you're definitely breathing the same air and there's no sunshine radiation or whatever.
You can still open the window, can't you?
Yes, but still, it's an enclosed space, and even if you stay 2 meters apart,
what if you're living on your own?
Will travel in the air, la 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 la. The risks are just slightly higher than.
What if you're living on your own then? Do you have to wear a mask indoors if you're living on your own?
Well, obviously not at home in your bubble of home, but when you go out into public spaces like shops, supermarkets, and things like that, that's where.
So how would it be? How would it be then if people wore a mask that was in the shape of the Ku Klux Klan? Could they get away with that?
I don't think they would get away with that.
Or
just
if you put on a mask that would look like a,
a gimp mask.
well, a gimp,
Oh, I
anything,
guess that's
because to me, what it says is that now you can go into a bank and hide your identity on the closed circuit TV.
No.
You wear a mask like this, especially at the moment, this is an absolute gift to the rioters. They can go in. Oh, I'm wearing a mask, mate. Yeah, I'm wearing a mask. Yeah, but we can't see who you are. Yeah, no. So I'm going up there peacefully, and then they can pull the statues down, break the windows, cause chaos and mayhem. You can't recognise it. We're giving people the licence to disguise themselves, so you don't know who it is who's doing all this rioting. It just seems bonkers. Absolute bonkers. What is the matter with this country? And why can't we have common sense? What's happened to the common sense in this world? It's just mad. People are scared. I mean, the Spanish flu was a lot worse. SARS was a lot worse. Avian bird flu was a lot worse. It's just, Beach Writer says, but being a virus with no vaccine, either you get over it or die. Well, there won't be a vaccine. I mean, that's the bottom line, is there isn't a vaccine for the common cold. And if you're old and vulnerable and about to peg it and you get the common cold, as I wished my father had when he was dying of dementia, then you were going to die. If you're vulnerable and you're likely to, don't go out. That you're the ones they're the people we should be protecting. But the rest of us need to, you can't run away from it. That's the thing. It's going to be there. The sooner you get it in and get on with it and get it, because remember, 80% of the people, they said right at the beginning, and the scientists that you can listen to will still tell you that 80% of the people will get it and they won't end up, it'll be a bit like a bad cold, but they'll get over it. Was that nice?
Yes, that was yummy. We've got some interesting comments here.
Good.
Elfwald says the muzzles don't stop the spread of the virus. Turbo Stream says he's not keen on wearing a mask. And Elfwald also says the muzzle... Oh, said that one. Beach Writer 8 says, true, hides identity. Criminals will and are taking advantage. Parents do not have or teach common sense. And Henry's Adventures says common sense isn't very common. Now, that's right. Andrew Norris agrees with you, Richard. Mike Dixon says, on the radio, they were talking about face masks causing an increase in throat and lung infections, which doesn't surprise me. Morton Lewis says, I'm not worried about mad cow disease because I'm a sheep.
I like that one.
I'm not sure if I'll repeat that one. Michael Angel says, it will look great when you have spent the day on the beach and the bottom half of your face is white. Yeah. So, yeah, a few interesting comments there.
Glastonbury says the scroats have been covering their faces when they ripe, so it won't make any difference. And that is true. I agree with you there. Hang on, we got a call. Hello, caller calling the Vobes Shoby.
It's Sean from London.
It's Sean from London. Just be aware that lovely Julia, you will not be able to hear, but she can hear you and will write down everything you say and put it in.
Hello, Gabriel, just in case you can hear me.
Just to let you know that in London, they're only allowing 8 people onto a bus.
They're only allowing 8 people onto a bus. Why do they need to wear masks then?
And 20 on a double decker.
As soon as the bus has 8 people on, they put a sign in the window saying "bus full," and then you've got to wait for somebody to get off in order for the next one to get on.
What did you say, Julia?
I said I read somewhere in 20 on a double decker.
20 on a double decker. Yeah.
But the thing is, if you go upstairs, and this is what I don't get about people, they're touching the handles. And I was sat at the back of the bus, and I observed that everybody seemed to sit in the same seats. So, the people would get off the bus and the next one would come on. And they'd all be touching the same things and then scratching their noses.
Yes. And
yes. Whereas but from Monday, you have to have some form of face covering to get on a bus. So I've just got a scarf. something you can put up and something you can pull down quick.
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't have to be a mask per se. You know, you might
You
as
could
well
wear your
just
underpants.
you can wear underpants on your face if you like. But I think, to me, the more key part is having the hand sanitizer as well, because you are going to touch your face, and the mask, they say that's that's partly.
Julius, I don't know. You probably can't hear Julia, but she's saying
No, I can just about get it.
Yeah,
but,
hands. And of course, that's the hand thing is probably the biggest thing that anybody can do, because the hand contact is more likely. If you're, if you just still avoid most people, and sit as distant as you can, and if you've got a small amount of people going on a bus, then what's the point with having the mask? I don't really get it, because you're not going to be breathing down somebody's throat. Glastonbury made an interesting point. Trouble is, everybody thinks they're in the 80% and act that way. And of course, well, that may be true, except vulnerable people who do know that they're vulnerable. I mean, the people who know that they've got underlying health issues do know that. But 80%, will be in that. Well, 100% of the 80% will be in the 80%.
But I completely agree with what you said about... I went into the streets, and I don't know if you've ever had this, but you go into a situation and it feels like something's going to happen. And I walked into my high street and it felt like something was about to kick off. But the problem was everybody had a mask on, so you couldn't tell who were the ones that were about to kick off. So I just got my food and I just went.
Yes, I mean, the thing about the masks is, it is that business. It's that whole business about covering your face for reassurance, not for reassurance, not for when somebody's face is covered, as you've just exactly explained, very nice. What's the word? Very succinctly, is that you read people's faces, and as you say, you can see people who are sympathetic to you. If you're in a queue and someone's getting a bit cross, and you think, oh, he looks a bit cross, he might get a bit, a bit Larry, I'm going to keep back from him. But if you've got people with face coverings on, it's very hard to read what they're thinking, and you're then only relying on, their body language, but it depends how much of that person you can see. Which comes down, I mean, it's the same argument with the women in the hijabs. It's not that, I think, personally, it's not that one is worried about what religion they have. It's just when you can't see somebody's face, it's the thing that gives us signals about what that person's feelings are to you. Whether they accept you, whether they're frightened by you or not. You can't just read it from the eyes, and you need the whole face to have a communication with somebody.
But the lockdown does seem to have fallen apart in London over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Everything seems to be getting back to normal. But for me to go to the post office yesterday took 45 minutes to get inside because they were only allowing the one person in. And I accidentally walked in with the person in front of me, and it was as if I'd gone in there with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Everybody was screaming.
It's just very odd. It's very odd. Anyway,
Alan Sandals says something interesting. Alan Sandals says a mask helps you not touch your face with virus hands, but that's the point I was about to get to, in the fact that actually I find that people with masks tend to touch them more. For me, it's more important to use the hand sanitizer. For example, with the bus, before you get on the bus even, as you get off the bus,
I mean, you can't run your life by continually putting your hand in sanitizer.
Well, no.
But I mean, I get what you're saying. The whole thing about, it's going to make your face itchy, especially if you've got a beard or any.
But just one final thing before I go.
Okay.
What I have seen is people have got the masks on. They walk down the street, they see a friend, they take the mask off, and they have a chat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're better off just not having them. Right. Anyway, no. Philip Hammond said, "Can we have another video to cheer us up, please?" And that's a sensible suggestion. Well,
wait, Philip. Do you like my cardigan, Philip?
Oh, hang on. Julia's going to show off her
cardigan.
By
your lovely wife.
Mary made this.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, really, really chuffed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Lovely. Thank you for the rhubarb. Did you send it in the post? I want to before we go to the next video. Sorry, Philip. We will get there. How did you send it? How do you send rhubarb in the post?
Well, I went to go and get a Jiffy bag, but they didn't have them. They had these new sort of bags that are made out of plastic, and I just threw it in there and popped it in the post.
I would rather hope that, you know, sending the Vobes something, that you would put it in very carefully.
Well, I put a stick in there as well, and we can't find the pen that I wrote your address on, so you might find a pen in there as well.
Oh, bonus! Do you want me to send it back?
Yes.
I'll wait. I'll wait till the ink runs out, and then I'll send it back. Ask for another one.
All the best.
Thank you very much. I'll let you know as soon as it arrives.
Yes, okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye, Sean.
There we go. So it comes by. You can send. I didn't know you could send rhubarb and stuff by post, but you know, I hope they don't crush it. It's interesting. Right? Shall we? Is it time for the Andrew Norris moment?
I'm dying for the Andrew Norris moment. See,
Please don't die. Please don't die.
Still be here. Pardon?
Please don't die.
Oh, no, I'm really eager for this. Come on, give me my Andrew Norris fix.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Hang on, I've got to go through this funny situation again to get to the video. But so say goodbye to the lovely Julia. Sorry about that. I press this button here. I press that button there. Oh, and then I turn that button off.
Hello, Vobesters.
No, it's still playing. Oh, go. Wait. That button off. That button on. That one on. Do you know, I'm beginning to hate this system now. Beginning to hate it. It's so complicated. I don't know why it's so complicated. Right, okay. So here we go. Where are you? And now it's vanished again. Right. Monsieur Le Norris, it's time for the Andrew Norris moment, ladies and gentlemen. And this is fairly topical. Nothing to do with masks, nothing to do with statues, and nothing to do with pelicans. But it is to do with something I made a video on, and Andrew's been talking about for a long time, and is fascinating as ever. The wonderful, lovely Andrew Norris. And just check out his dress sense towards the end of the video.
Well, Vobesters, this is a very exciting time for me. I wait every year for the lizard orchid to come up. And I just came for a walk with Zora, and I came to inspect the meadow, which is the only place where they appear. And I found the beginning of one coming up. So I'll see if I can show you that. It doesn't look too spectacular now. But you give it a week or so and you'll be amazed how beautiful they are. See if I can find it again. Oh yeah, here it is. This is the beautiful lizard orchid. It'll be more spectacular in a week, 10 days or so. Okay, I won't go any further into the meadow for fear of treading on any examples, but at least I know they're coming up. It always amazes me the timing of these different flowers. When one flower relinquishes their part of the meadow, then another flower appears, you know, as if there's some kind of perfectly orchestrated arrangement amongst themselves. Well, this is a new one on me. According to my book, it's called Common Broom Rape, and this part of the meadow is full of it. And this tall beauty is called a Spiked Star of Bethlehem. Beautiful. Hasn't quite opened out completely yet. Here we have scabious, which was once used as a herbal remedy for skin complaints. Perhaps Kim Merton will know all about it. This is a favourite of mine, which I look forward to every year. It only grows in two places here, but this is at the far end of the orchard. It's called Orlea grandiflora, and when looked from underneath, against a blue sky, they look like little clouds. So this, my dear Vobesters, is the magnificent lizard orchid. I've counted about 6 around. The most you've ever had is about 14. So I'm hoping that 1 or 2 more will still come up. But I'll leave you with this last look at this fantastic flower.
And there we see the amazing Andrew Knight. What a lovely sweatshirt, I must say. That sweatshirt at the end, that was rather fantastic, wasn't it? I don't know where you buy a sweatshirt like that. I think that's the sort of thing that I would love to get. I'd love to get one. Andrew Norris all over the front there. So superb. Oh, and wasn't there some wildflowers? Let's just check with the lovely Julia. I think she's still there. Oh, no, she's vanished. Hang on a minute. There she is. There we go. Hello, lovely Julia.
Hello, lovely Richard. Wasn't that lovely?
Wasn't that lovely? All those wildflowers, common something and very rare this
orchid?
and a dragon flavoured that. Absolutely it's stunning. Amazing names. I'm sure he made them all up, but they are amazing names. The golden goblet clap. That was a good one. I don't know if you've seen the golden goblet clap. That's a very rare flower. And the Hindu African musk. The Hindu African musk is a very nice one. I notice. I like the yellow and the sky blue, pink and yellow dots leaves that it has.
Yes.
Very very pleasant indeed. And I think the semicolon fish bait is an unusual plant to find in Croatia.
I can't keep up.
No. Well, they're all there. They're all there. And of course those wonderful grasses, the green muscat grass. That's nice. The yellow Lee Enfield grass. What?
If I may interject.
Yes, sorry.
You know that lovely meadow you went to with Michael and was it Jane Joseph?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yes. I'd love to have some of their seeds to make a little, meadow patch in my garden.
Well, I'm going back there in the autumn when they will be cutting the hay, and they said I can collect some seeds for my own patch, and I'll ask if I can collect a few more for yours.
Fabulous.
But you have to. You can't just. From what I understand, is you can't just sow them because you've got to prepare the ground.
Yeah, you've got to cut away the top layer, basically.
Yeah, because what's in the ground will carry on growing and may interfere with the ecosystem.
That's right.
And I don't think that you need to have a bag of all the insects and their eggs and things. I think they just come.
They just arrive.
How do they know? That's the thing. How does this is the weird thing. Those caterpillars and the various little bugs. I mean, how do they get there?
I'm assuming that they, insects being insects, that they see with the ultraviolet, don't they? So they see flowers and things like that in a different way. They see plants differently to us, whereas we see them in as we see them, but they see them in bright. Everything else is much duller, and they see the UV light reflecting off them, and that's what the flowers are designed for, isn't it?
But how do they get across from? I mean, do they go on a bus?
Well, I should imagine.
Will they wear a mask?
Most of them would be airborne, wouldn't they?
Oh, airborne. Well, I didn't think the airplanes were flying at the moment. They'll have to go in 2-week quarantine, won't they? So they'll have to phone up the Home Office and say, I'm staying on an Oxide Daisy for the next 2 weeks. I'll be all right there.
Here's new meadow patch. All right, that's 40 days
exactly.
isolation over there, please, Sat.
Michael Angel says you can get ointment for that, Richard. Ointment for what? What's his...
I can't remember what you said now.
Oh.
You said lots of things.
For the flower names. I said, lovely to see all those flowers, says Wendy Laurie. They were lovely. Actually, did I see... did Peter send me a video? I've got this horrible feeling that Peter sent a video and I haven't downloaded it.
We had... You did one of him on Wednesday.
Yes, I'm not sure. Wendy, did Peter send a video for this evening? Maybe I missed it. I suddenly seeing your name, I suddenly thought, oh, was there? And maybe I haven't downloaded it. If not, then it's on for Monday, if that's okay. Because I don't want to try struggling. I don't want to push my luck by fiddling with anything now.
Yeah, we've now reached 9:35-ish. So.
Mark Selwood, hello Mark. I've seen your comments and I meant to say hello to you. Got to come down. When is Cornwall open again? Is Cornwall going to be open? Can we come down and see you en masse? I love the way you just had to explain the quote was from
With Nail and I.
With Nail and I, Robert, for the what is With Nail and I anyway?
I've not actually seen it, but it's a film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who cares, Mike? We import enough from the EU. Are you allowed to import seeds into the UK from abroad? Oh, right. Oh, okay. Who knows? How many people will die from throat-lung infections as a result?
Let's not go back there, please.
We've kind of moved on from that. We've had that conversation. I'm collecting seeds if anybody is interested. Oh, right. Yeah, well, I'm interested. I want some of those Croatian seeds.
Mm-hmm. Linda Kane says that I should sow yellow rattle first. That clears the grass.
Oh, sow yellow rattle first. Yeah, that's what he said in the video. Linda Kane's been paying attention.
Yes.
That's the one that she demonstrated by wiggling and
that's it.
Yeah, the yellow rattle grass.
Grass.
That's the same as the orange trumpet flower, which is very nice. The orange trumpet flower, as well as the pink marzipan cake. Although you can eat that one, I think, as soon as it's ready. The pink marzipan cake, it's made for fairies, made by fairies for gnomes.
Mark Donny McLeod says, plant it and they will come.
Plant it and they will come.
In reference to the insects.
Oh, yes, that's true. It would be interesting if you could get a camera that could actually show how they... It must be a bit like the jungle drums underneath the earth, the mitochondrial stuff that says, bombity bom 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 bom, under the ground there is new flowers here, bom bom bom. And the signal must go, and the one insect is sitting there going, not very happy with what I eat here. My lot isn't so nice. And then, oh, wait, what's that noise? Bum 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 bum. Under the ground here is some new flower. Oh! And then they get their sat nav out and go, come on, darling, we're moving. Come on, bring the children. Tell Uncle Bob next door and the old slimy toad from down the road. Come on, we're going to jump on the back of a pelican from the Knepp estate. I'm here. Where do you want to go? Oh, anywhere here will do. Wah!
Mark Donny McLeod says the Heritage Seed Society will send you seeds that fit your local environment. And Mike Stevens is interested in some wildflower seed too.
When you say they fit the local environment, will they send me some seeds that have concrete tower blocks?
Called Hovis. I affectionately called Hovis. I didn't start that. Someone on the Worthing past and present page on Facebook did, but I like it. I'm sticking with it. It's called Hovis to me.
What, the new big building?
Massive eyesore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hovis.
All of the south. Rah, 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 blah blah blah.
Yeah, because it is a bit like a mouldy loaf of bread.
Yeah, it all it's like it's been taken out of the packet and just thrown together from 3 foot apart. Andrew Norris says he shall send you some yellow rattle.
Oh, and thank you.
And Sean says it's mycorrhizal fungi.
Yes, that's right.
It's the network of mycorrhizal fungi underneath the soil.
That's the one playing the jungle drums, and they all hook onto it. It's like an internet for flowers, isn't it?
Yeah,
they hook onto instead of the World Wide Web, which spiders do. The flowers and the grasses connect up to the mycorrhizal fungi.
Yeah. It's the idea that the film Avatar was kind of latched onto, wasn't it? But they went so far as to have a tree. Have you seen that film? I bet you haven't.
Avatar.
Yeah.
What is that to do with lots of people's logos of themselves dancing about?
No, it's where humans they want to go and mine some. I can't remember what deposit on an alien planet, but to go to that planet they need an avatar, which is basically they've made bodies of using the DNA from the human and DNA of the aliens to create a human alien hybrid that the humans can kind of virtual reality remote control. That sounds complicated. Anyway, so
can you do me a favour? Einstein had this theory of relativity. Any chance you could explain that to me?
No, you're fine, thanks. I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dream of it.
I love it when you're explaining something.
Adamantium. Yeah, I know. I'm rubbish. I'm tongue-tied. I'm inarticulate. Whatever.
So what these? They want to mine something from a planet.
Adamantium, as Robert Croser says.
Adamantium.
Yeah.
Isn't he a singer, Adamantium?
Adamant it was, yeah.
Is that really what they were mining?
Yeah. But anyway, these avatars, these aliens, they weirdly, it's their hair. They connect into this tree, and it's the mother tree, and it has all the information of, of their species and the connectivity of life and all of that.
And they want to ban Gone with the Wind, and you've got some strange weird stuff like that would be better to be banned. I couldn't understand a word of it. At least Gone with the Wind, I could follow the story. Anyway. Yeah, the X-Files. It does remind me of the X-Files. Although the X-Files was a stupid program, wasn't it? I did watch a couple and then I got a bit bored because the X-Files, one of them was always going, oh yeah, there's definitely something, weird and sinister going on, and this whole thing proves it. And then the other one is going, nah, I still don't believe it. And it was like, week after week, the weirdest and most peculiar things go on, and what, you still don't believe any of it? I'm going to get a new partner.
I used to love it. It was a bit of mum and me time at the end of an evening. I used to love it. Then again, I used to fancy the hell out of Scully.
Which one was Scully?
The ginger lady, Gillian Anderson.
Oh, you fancied the woman?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's gorgeous. She's petite and she's gorgeous, and she's a redhead and she's lovely. She actually was in a recent Netflix series called, oh crikey, what was it called? Oh, Sex Education is brilliant. I highly recommend that one to anyone who Netflixes.
We don't really do all that. We don't do all that sex education on this show.
It's hilarious because she plays a sexual counselor basically, and it's about her and her son. Yeah. Anyway, I won't say any more. It's really good. Watch it if you've got Netflix.
Some of the file stories were scary, says Beach Writer.
Yeah.
Were they?
Some of them, yeah.
Well, I didn't watch many of them because once I'd got the twist of it, it was like same old each episode. Each episode. No, there's a rational explanation for all of it. No, that's hardly a rational explanation. Nowhere in the world does that weird ever happen. Only on the telly. No, there's a rational explanation. Well, the rational explanation is this is television.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, it's just one of those things, isn't it? You put the right actor or actress in a role, and and
you make a good sandwich. Anderson is a fox and English,
Yes, English,
What does she mean? Anderson is a fox.
As in, she's foxy. She's a very lovely, sexy lady.
Oh, okay, and English. Oh, okay.
And English. As if English ladies can't be sexy? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't know what he meant by she was a fox.
Yeah.
I've heard of somebody's foxy, but I didn't know they were actually a fox. I mean, I've heard that there's somebody who believes people are lizards. So, anything goes in this world. Mark Selwood says, if Julia was anything like Scully, you would have got rid of her ages ago, wouldn't you, Richard? Yes, that's true. Because there's a rational explanation for everything. Right, well, we best avoid the village of Morrisons then, says Nigel Sadler, as opposed... Why? What is that?
I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah. Doable? What does that mean?
Let's not go there. Come on, let's move on.
What do you mean? Doable? Sexy, I can understand that.
Yeah,
doable. Anyway, I think we've run out of time. It's now 8:45. I've got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I've got to go out and do some videoing. The guy from X-Files named his son Kid. Fair enough. So he doesn't have to remember it, did he? Anyway, Julia, thank you so much for being on the show. Judith, thank you so much for moderating.
Thanks,
Richard,
Judith.
thank you for being on the show.
Thanks,
you,
Richard, for
lovely
another
audience,
show.
thank you for coming on the show. Technical faults, thank you for being there and helping us. Phone calls, thank you for ringing. And all the exciting things that normally go on. It's Friday. Go and enjoy yourself at the weekend. Get yourself a mask and go and rob a bank. Nobody will know who you are. And, of course, if you push a statue down, you don't get arrested. All good fun. Just saying. The world is a very odd place.
Disclaimers.
What?
Nothing. What? Hey?
The world is a very strange place at the moment. I can't quite cope with it.
By the way, one thing quickly. People have mentioned variously throughout the show about hearing seagulls. Yes, that's the seagulls living on my roof. Sorry about it, but I can't There's nothing I can
You
do about
can't
that.
silence that. They can silence lambs, you know. Apparently, I did see a film once where you could actually get lambs to be quiet.
Yes, that's in the slaughterhouse. Well, they're not quiet at first. It's only quiet
It was a
after.
film with that very famous actor who was in Rosemary's Baby.
Sean Connery. No. Anthony Hopkins.
Yes, he was in it.
James went
He was
Weird.
Hannibal the Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter. Never
Hannibal
mind
the
that.
lecturer, I think. He used to go around eating lambs and making them quiet. I never quite understood that film either. And also, I did this very strange. I think the makeup department in that video was not so good because the mouth they put on him was very, you know.
Yeah, that mask wouldn't have stopped anyone spreading COVID, would they?
Yeah, that would have done it. That would have done it. They should have had that.
because it had little bars at the front.
Yeah.
All of the spittle can get right out there.
Flock of seagulls. Anyway, there we are. Thank you so much. Nice to see you. Take care. Look after yourselves. Have a nice weekend. See you on Monday. Thank you, Julia.
Thanks, everybody. Night, everyone.
I think it all worked well. I've no idea now. I get more confused every day on this show.
Hannibal's a true story? No way.
Hannibal.
Not.
Oh yeah, Hannibal, the legend of Hannibal in the Bible. That's a different story. That's not the one of the made-up film about the lambs eating lamb chop with whatever her name was in the 60s or 70s. Whenever she used to do it, what was her name? Who did the lamb chop thing? The puppet. Yes, that's right. What, the glove puppet, lamb chop? Exactly. I can't remember the woman's name now. The American woman. Anyway, most people have gone. Look. So there we are. Thank you very much. Take care, one and all, and good night.
Good night, one and all.
Good night. I got to just say good night to Julia and somehow get to the theme tune. I don't know how I do this now.
Write the tune, sing the theme tune.
Sing the theme tune. Oh, you mustn't do that. That's now banned, by the way. Little Britain is banned. Which is interesting because a lot of bands have been banned over the years. That bloke who went to Hollywood, he got banned. Even Brooke Bond, oh no, it's not. It's PG Tips got banned. One of the three. Anyway, never mind that. We've gone. I've gone. Look, I've lost my camera. I don't know where the camera's gone now. Where's the camera gone? Never mind. Play the theme tune as you said.
Play the movie.
There it is. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye.